Hey guys, it's Dr. Ben here in Sunergos Coffee. I'm going to step outside for a moment. Emmy and Rochelle are inside still, but I want to start off the week. Let's see, today, last couple days of February, kicking off a new week here at the beginning of 2018 still, and talking about something practical, how to get things done. Hey Josh, hey, you're going to love this, really practical. Rochelle and I were just talking about this, and I have a fun story and example to read to you, especially for those of you that are juggling multiple hats or in a home business like we are. Hey Tressa, hey Virginia, and hey Eric. And this was actually an idea that I first heard from a wonderful business partner up in Canada who's actually a co-author in a book, done a lot of IT consulting, and she's partnering in marketing and expansion of different brands with us around the world, Sharon Evans. And she shared this idea probably a couple of years ago called time blocking, and mentioned a book, and I know it's going to be backwards for you on this selfie counter. Hey Pat, hey Madeline, this is going to be, hey, thank you Pat, this is going to be a powerful idea. And it comes from this book, The 12-Week Year. Okay, the 12-week year. And I was just flipping through it because I'm going through some of my old books and stuff as we're prepping potentially to move, and flipped open a page, and it just caught my attention. Tell me if this title would catch your attention, if this is something you guys would like to hear about. The title is Chapter 17, Take Back Control of Your Day. How many of you, that's a subject that would be valuable to you? Hey, Amandine. Hey, Tamara. Hey, Virginia. All right, awesome. So listen to this. One of the barriers, and this is what this author, let's see, Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington, so two co-authors, okay? They said one of the barriers that our clients often cite, explaining what keeps them from achieving more of what they are capable of, is a lack of time. Okay, and he says this is such a common thing. How many of you, that's an issue with your prospects, that's an issue for yourself, your family, lack of time. Okay, and what he says is this is often a smokescreen, and I think you'll all be nodding your heads when you hear this, because what he says is that what keeps most people from being exceptional is not a lack of time, but the way you allocate the time that you have. Okay, and this idea of time blocking is basically the idea that if we keep going back and forth from different tasks, every time you switch, I think Sharon shared in this training a couple years ago, it takes you like 20 minutes to get back on track. So you lose time, you waste time, okay? Plus, as a dad, and I know we have many moms on the team, we have some grandparents on the team, often if we go through the whole day, how many of you ever gone through the whole day feeling torn? Like if you're doing work or you're doing business, you're feeling bad, you're not with your family, or while with your family, you're still thinking about work and business, and you're like, you got two things going on in your head all day long, at least two things, and it pulls you. And so by the end of the day, you're exhausted, and maybe you still feel like you didn't get everything done. Okay, maybe you got a lot done, but you still feel like you didn't because you're feeling that pull all day long. Any of you ever felt that? Hey, Cheryl, okay, cool, you're familiar with it. Okay, so this idea of time blocking is actually blocking off sections of your day to focus on one activity. And when you're focused on that, you're not feeling divided, you're not feeling torn, and you're not allowing yourself to get distracted and switching back and forth, so you lose all that energy and you get drained emotionally. Okay, so with that said, some of you will get enough idea just from that, and you can go run with this. But I'm going to take a few moments to just read this example, because it's a powerful example, and I think those of you in any kind of business projects, or like I said, wearing mom, dad, or grandparent hats, can relate to this woman's story and put some of this into practice. Listen to this. And she says this is a woman, Annette Batista, who had to balance competing demands on her time and still excel at what was important to her. And she basically says, it's been almost 2 years since I first read this book, The 12-Week Year. 2 years. Okay, we're in chapter 17 here. I devoured it and applied the principles not only in my home business, but on a personal and professional level as well. And by the way, I'm going to make a quick side note here. I mean, many of you may want to go out and buy this book, but here's the bigger thing. Do something with what I share with you today. Put it into action. Don't just buy another book and think you're going to change just from reading a book. You got to put it into implementation. Okay, so listen to this idea. Time blocking. It's been almost 2 years since I first read it. Wanted to improve things. She says, I devoured the principles and wanted to apply them not only in my home business, but on a personal and professional level as well. My 12-week goals were to be on pace each 12 weeks for the yearly award. Okay, I know many of you are working to certain benchmarks. Maybe you have 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 90 days towards certain benchmarks, and then certain goals at the end of the year. She broke it down into 12-week blocks, okay, to earn the yearly award given to top performers and to begin to homeschool my child. Okay, two very different things going on at the same time. In order to do this, I knew I needed a good plan. And in a moment, you're going to hear she's a mom, a wife, and a grandma too, okay? I am an outreach counselor. In that role, I educate clients on their medical benefits. I assist them in choosing a medical plan and a doctor for themselves and or their children, as well as a dental plan and dentist for their children. To meet my goals each month, listen to this. Now, think of all of you that prospect or you're doing things on Facebook, you got certain numbers you want to accomplish. Here were her numbers. Each month, I have to complete 650 phone calls. Okay, she knew how many to complete for the month, and conduct 100 home visits. Okay, so she's doing phone and face-to-face. I also have to do presentations at local agencies. For some of you, that might be like your mini events, micro events, okay? Attend health fairs and community meetings, and do a minimum of 15 community contacts each month. So some of these things are like monthly things, and some of those things you'll see are broken down into daily things, okay? 8 of which have to be done face-to-face. I have an area of 6 zip codes to cover in 2 counties. Busy woman, okay? She says, I wondered, how would I get all this done? Hey, Barbara, good to see you. Hey, Nabila, Carlette, good to have you. Excuse me, I should have brought some water out here. I worried how I would get all this done. What could I do daily that would get me where I wanted to be by being steady and consistent? Ooh, steady and consistent. But steady and consistent at what? Okay. My profession is demanding and rewarding at the same time. I am also a wife, mother, and grandmother. Becoming intentional about my plan in order to achieve everything I wanted to do would be critical. So what did she do? You guys want to know? Or should we save it for next week? No. Okay, here we go. Time blocking effectively helped me to reach my goals. I use buffer blocks. This is an interesting idea. A buffer block and then your block for your key things. Okay, I use a buffer block. She uses one at the beginning and end of her day. I use buffer blocks each morning, usually for 1 hour from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. to check my email, send out encouraging words to my colleagues, and then prioritize. Okay, she takes some of that time to prioritize my contact list by order of importance, or this might be prioritizing your intentions, your actions that day. And some of you may want to prioritize who are the key connections you want to make that day, maybe even before you check things you need to respond to. Okay. I then move on to the time blocks that I schedule each day to perform my key activities. So for the next, I'm going to switch arms here. It's amazing how you discover new muscles when you're holding something for a while. Okay. I then move on to time blocks for the next 4 hours. Okay, she blocks 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. Okay, 4-hour time block. Each day I either make phone calls or home visits. Those are her key reach outs to move her, in her case, her business or her job forward. Okay, for you, it might be your key reach outs on Facebook, your post, or contacts, setting up meetings, setting up appointments. Okay, that's her key time. She does that first. Okay, and she's got a major block for doing that, and she's not getting distracted. She's not going back and forth between that. Then maybe I'll do a little training here, maybe I'll run an errand here, maybe I'll do this. I know sometimes, we have things we got to work around. Okay, but just realize this is a busy mom, grandma, wife. You'll see how she fits in homeschooling, but she's blocking time to be more effective even in less time, okay? These time blocks help me to stay on top of my very demanding workload. My time blocking, you'll see in a moment how it gives her more time. My time blocking works so well that by Tuesday, when I'm supposed to start contacting my daily list, or calling my daily list, okay, she's supposed to start her contacts by Tuesday morning. She's already completed them for the week, okay? My weekly call lists are usually completed 1 to 2 weeks early each month. She has her targets, the numbers. She usually completes them 1 to 2 weeks early. Next come my breakout blocks. She calls them breakout blocks, and the first one is going to be her homeschooling, okay? So after lunch each day, I start homeschooling. So she's got a lunch, okay? She does eat. And then after lunch, she starts homeschooling, which takes me exactly 3 hours to do. So she just blocks the time. And during that time, it's devoted to homeschooling. Totally different focus, okay? And the time is carved out for that. Teaching, and listen to this, teaching gives me a break from work. I like teaching, and my son enjoys learning. The different subjects we cover, Bible, language, arts, science, math, history, and geography, provide a great way to tune in to several different options within my breakout block. Now, some of you, that breakout block, that might be, running errands. It might be taking care of a family member. It might be some of this might be your other job or whatever you have, but just see how she's doing it with the different things she has. And because she loves this and has these different subjects, so she can choose different things to focus on during that 3 hours with her son, she says things are not mundane and boring. Okay? Now, what does she do next? When homeschooling is done, Now, just think, in 6 hours or 7 hours, so a 4-hour block in the morning and a 3-hour block in the afternoon, she's already gotten major things done in her business, and she's already homeschooled, okay? And the day's not even over yet. When homeschooling is done, I finish my day with another buffer block. Remember those buffer blocks? Wrapping up with a few calls, data entry of what has been done for the day. How many of us are interrupting our day with data entry, admin, straightening things up, but we're interrupting our key time all throughout the day doing that? She saves that for a buffer block at the end, okay? And she's checking my email. This is when she checks her email. She's not checking it during the key outreach time, okay? Checking my email one last time before the day ends to make sure nothing major is pending for the next day, okay? So you do a quick check, all right? Using the disciplines of time blocking, now here are the results, and look at the extra time she created. In the 12-week year, I've been able to work ahead, sometimes even 2 weeks ahead. She's not getting to the end of the month and panicking about her volume. Some of you will know what I mean, okay? Or she's not getting to the end of the cycle and panicking about how she's gonna meet that, that goal, that trip goal that she wanted to make, okay? She's using the disciplines. She's able to work ahead, sometimes even 2 weeks ahead, okay? And she's only doing the mornings on her, quote, business, her work. It's not 24/7. You guys got that? Okay, when I have, and sometimes even 2 weeks ahead. So when she's gone on vacation, she actually has time for vacation. I've been able to enjoy it because I know I won't have things pending or undone when I get back, because she's already worked 2 weeks ahead. It's already done. Now she can take vacation and she's not behind when she gets back. I have taken ownership of my plan. I have chosen to excel. My choices have gained me the respect of my manager and supervisor, as well as my colleagues, family, and friends. All this being said, I not only accomplished my goal of earning the Outreach Counselor of the Year award in 2011. Now, she's competing with a lot of people. Many of you, it's not actually competing. Many of you, when you're going for trips and rewards and stuff, sometimes, at least in those of you who partner with me, you're winning it, doesn't take it away from anyone else. So that's kind of cool, all right? But in her case, she was winning it. She was the top one, okay? She won it in 2011, and then she said, I also received the award this year, 2 years in a row, 2012, something that has never been done before. And it wasn't by some young single guy or woman who's 24/7 sales. It was done by this mom, wife, and grandma who's blocking time in her mornings to get her business done, okay? All this being said, here we go. On a personal level, my husband and I are applying this to our finances, determined to be out of debt. With the exception of our mortgage, by December of next year, we'll accomplish in 12 months what normally would take 18 to 36 months. So how about that? Did you guys get, hey, Mary, hey, Michelle, get some ideas for how you could be more effective in the time you have, and let go of any feeling of victim of your circumstances, or blaming, or even making excuses. How about let's time block? Let's really set our intentions. What do we want to create with our family, our relationships? Let's block some time for that. Rochelle and I block time off. I'm here with Emmy and Rochelle this morning, and then blocking time for your business, your work, your key things. And let's move forward and have fun celebrating that. And then if any of you want some additional support or want to see the source, it's the 12-week year. I know this is backwards, 12-week year by Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. Thanks again to Sharon Evans, who first turned me on to this. And you guys have a great day. Hey, awesome, Eric. Glad you're enjoying this. Hey, Carol. And you guys have a great day creating a life you love. Thanks, Josh. Hey, Carol, you'll love this. This will be really powerful for you and Martin, because I know you guys juggle a lot of things. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.